back to Sunrise Daily. Yes, we'll do talking about Nasarawa at this point in time. We're joined by the Commissioner of Police in Nasarawa State, Umar and Father. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the program here today. Well, some developments in the state which had been on recently. We had that of the local government area. We also had that of the Deputy Governor's convoy, which the state handled. First, could you tell us what's the update that we have now on that unfortunate accident that occurred in the convoy of the Deputy Governor where some lives were lost? Any further development on that? Can you tell us?
Well, that was an old issue. But the development is that all those that had hands on that attack are arrested and then prosecuted.
Okay, so what about the local government chairman? Because yes, he was abducted. After a while, he was then released. And we, of course, journalists will ask about whether or not ransom were paid and what is the state doing, advising people in terms of how they need to conduct themselves to avoid falling into the hands of these persons.
Well, the issue of the local government chairman, he was abducted, and due to sustained pressure from the search party, we were able to organize local vigilante that joined the conventional personnel, and we were able to comb the whole bush, and due to sustained pressure from us, they were able to release him, and no ransom was.
So did the police get any intel before he was kidnapped?
Yes.
I'm sorry, we missed that part of, could you say it again? I think it came in broken. Was there any intel?
I couldn't get you very well.
Did the police get any intelligence before he was kidnapped?
No. It was only after the kidnap we were able to get the kidnapped and were able to mobilize and entered into the forest, and due to the sustained pressure, like I said, we were able to rescue. And that was what happened.
So when these kind of things happen, does the police sit back and review scenario and ask themselves, why didn't we get an intel? What could we have done differently? Did you do that, and what did you come up with?
Yes, definitely. We have been liaising with the force headquarters, and we have very intelligent and good information concerning their movement, and we are trailing them. Very soon, we'll get them arrested.
You know, Mr. Nafada, the job that you have to do is a very sensitive one. So let's ask, how much of intel do you get from the citizens? For instance, around that armed robbery incident that happened recently at that supermarket, how much of intel were you getting from the residents around there?
Well, what I have from the residents is they should cooperate with us. We cannot do it alone. But police, other security agencies cannot do it alone. Everybody has to contribute. Security is everybody's business. And everybody has to come in to agree to securing the streets.
Are you implying that you're not getting cooperation from the citizens around there?
We have been getting cooperation from them. We need more cooperation from them so that secure the streets.
Well, you do know that the residents and citizens of Nigeria are concerned about how promptly that the security agencies, especially the police, act on the information they get. How promptly do you act on the information that you're given by citizens?
We always act promptly to all information that is us. And that was why the issue of the local government chairman too, we acted promptly and he was released within 24 hours. Not stay with the kidnappers up to 24 hours.
So what has the command done differently now? Because I know that some time ago, the governor raised an alarm and concern about attacks on farmers in 6 Nasarawa local government areas. He wanted a lot more to be done. How did the police address that?
That one we have been doing much on it. The state governor, already there has been an existing mechanism on dispute resolution in all the local government areas affected, those local government areas you mentioned, both at the state, local government, and village level. And that one has helped us a lot, and we have not been recording cases of farmers' hardest clashes in those areas.
So could you talk a little more about that? Because several communities too have farmers and herders, killings and attacks. What did you do so that they can also see if they could borrow a leaf from you?
Well, we have been doing much on it, and we always have meetings with relevant stakeholders, particularly the leaders of both the farmers and the herders, traditional rulers and community leaders. And they have been cooperating with us very well, and definitely we are getting somewhere.
Tell us, why is it that, and this is a question that we, all the time, we see that happen. Why is it that the police usually find it challenging and difficult to respond to distress calls in good time?
Sorry, I couldn't get it.
Why is it that the police find it difficult to respond to distress calls quickly?
Sometimes the issue of terrain, undulating terrain at times hinders movement of police, and that is one of the things that is affecting.
What are the others? Apart from terrain, what else?
Then sometimes the mobility, the executive governor of Nasarawa State has been trying, and he has been assisting the police and other security agencies with vehicles, motorcycles, so that we can access those areas that are not accessible.
So, what do you think needs to be done, and by who, to ensure that, for instance, Nasarawa State Police Command, of which you are in charge, are able to respond to distress calls quickly?
Yes, we have been responding to distress calls, but we still need more motorcycles and more vehicles for us to move effectively. Even though, like I said, there is undulating terrain at times, inaccessible roads, but with motorcycles we'll be able to reach to all those areas that are not accessible.
Yeah, go on, please.
So we also call on the state government. They have done much, and like Oliver Twist, we are still asking for more, so that we have mobility. They have already provided communication. All the 39 divisions of the state have been linked with communication gadgets. Also, the executive governor of Nasarawa State, and we have been using it effectively. What
will be your ideal time frame to respond to a distress call? How many minutes?
We respond to distress call. It depends on the terrain. If it is within the city, in 5 minutes we are there.
In 5 minutes? Commissioner, people don't remember when you've answered any distress call in 5 minutes. When was that?
I said within the city, in 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, we are already there. There is no distress call that will last more than 10 minutes. Minimum is 5 minutes, and the maximum is 10 minutes.
When in recent time has the State Police Command responded to any distress call in a city in 5 minutes? Which location? Which scenario?
The one that was that happened around Old Barracks, Efi. That one within 10 minutes, police were there. There was an incident that happened at Old Barracks, very close to Efi, and there was a distress call, and within 10 minutes, police were already there, and we were able to respond promptly.
Within 10 minutes?
It's amazing. Mr. Nafada said, first he said 5 minutes, and when you asked the question further, he moved it to 5 to 10 minutes. So if we go back to him again, he might move it further down to
so depending on the location.
But no, the key phrase is within the city center. 5 to 10 minutes. I'm sure if we push again, it might increase to 5 to 20 minutes. We do appreciate what they're doing. And honestly, the police, the security agencies and operatives, they are doing what they know to do as much as they can with the resources they have around them. But we think they can do a little bit more when it comes to interaction with the people. And that's one of the questions we asked earlier about that response and how much time or how much of confidence have the people gotten in them. When he says we act promptly, and then he now says 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes is not prompt.
Well, I guess he will...
he's back now.
He will shed a lot more light on that. So perhaps maybe that's a good one to get his
Mr. Nafada, if you're, are you back now? Can you hear us? Okay, we would get back to Mr. Nafada. Really, the relationship between the police and the people is one thing that a lot of people are asking that, please, can we work on this? First of all, they are not living amongst us, so they don't really understand how we live. They live in the barracks, and in some climes, the police live amongst the people, so they're able to relate and see where the people are coming from. And so when the people say, hello, officer, I'm seeing some strange movement here, because you live around them, you can understand when he says, on this street, there's a strange movement. Mr. Nafada, the question I want to ask is about your interaction with the citizens again. You've talked about your response time, 5 to 10 minutes, as far as within the city center, and depending on the terrain as well. But how well is that relationship with the people that you say you want information from? Because many will tell you, we have some who are sending in comments here that they don't have confidence enough in the police to want to to divulge information because they're not sure the police will even act on it.
Well, they should be rest assured that whatever information they get from, and we have already, the command has already built in the staff and the citizen. And they have that trust in us, the police call us, and whatever information they get, that's us confident.
Okay, that you said earlier about your response time is 5 to 10 minutes. Are we sure it's 5 to 10 minutes and you will not change it to maybe 5 to 20 minutes?
No, I'm sure it's 5 to 10 minutes within the city, depending on the location.
Okay, so there's still that condition of location within the city, depending on the location. Thank you, Mr. Nafada. But hold on, my colleague Ayo would have some questions for you. Ayo.
Well, thank you, Nyota. One question, rose in my mind when you talked about the fact that you didn't get intel on time before the abduction. The natural question on my mind is what the role of the DSS should have been in that regard. We understand they are spread all over the nation, across all 774 local government areas of the country. And if you didn't get that intel before the abduction, it means maybe someone wasn't doing their job, or perhaps the information come and it wasn't acted upon on time. Can you shed some light on that? You may have muted, Mr. Nafada. We can't hear you. Okay. Can you hear me now, Mr. Nafada? Well, the question, if you can hear me, and perhaps my colleagues can reiterate for you, is that the DSS ought to play a role in ensuring that intel gets to the police for action. So if, according to you, you didn't get the information before the abduction happened and you only got the information after the abduction, it only hints that maybe some officer who was supposed to give the information to you from the DSS was unable to get the information to you or was not available to get the information, and consequently we were let down in that regard. Can you shed some light on that? What happened in that regard? Well, Jimbalene and Nyota, this looks like Mr. Nafada cannot hear me, but maybe you can put the question to him.
Okay, Mr. Nafada, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Okay, now that's not from Mr. Nafada, that will be from here. So we'll sort that out. Okay, let's see if we can just drop that. Can you hear us, Mr. Nafada? What happened just now? It's okay. I think he's a bit frozen, but we'll see if we can sort that out. Just one more thing before we go from him. Let's double check if you can hear us again just before we wrap this up. Can you hear us now?
I hear you now.
Okay, so could you tell us then that there was a robbery incident in the state, and I think the command, we saw a statement about an investigation. Some lives were lost, unfortunately. What is the update you have on that matter?
Well, there was an arrest made yesterday, and the police head of CID using that matter. Suspects have been handed over to him this morning, and I think we are getting someone's aims. 2 suspects have been arrested, and we are.
All right. We'll have to thank you for talking to us this morning, Mr. Umar Nafada, Commissioner of Police in Nasarawa. So thank you, and we wish you and your team all the best.
Thank you very much. All
right. So we'll be back and talk about some of the activities that happened during the week, and that will be coming up with Lalu Akonde in a moment.